crowd's been sleeping on. So yes, they laughed at you, ignored you, tried to box you in, but none of it stuck, because your assignment wasn't to be liked. Your assignment was to be light. And now that you're stepping into that truth, everything around you is starting to shift. People are uncomfortable, not because you've changed, but because you're finally becoming everything they tried to convince you you'd never be. Number 3, your life was designed to be unrecognizable until the appointed time. You didn't look like the one because you weren't supposed to, yet the life you lived, the path you walked, the pain you went through, it was all part of a divine setup that made sure no one could truly see you until it was time. That confusion people had when they looked at you wasn't your fault, it was intentional. God kept your identity spiritually scrambled so people would judge you based on appearance, not anointing. He let them doubt you, disrespect you, and even dismiss you, because the reveal wasn't meant to happen until the illusion collapsed. People saw the struggle, the losses, the setbacks, and assumed you weren't important. They thought your silence meant weakness, your poverty meant failure, your broken moments meant defeat. But what they didn't know was that while your life looked chaotic on the outside, something powerful was happening on the inside. You were being built in secret. You were going through spiritual surgery while everyone else was obsessed with cosmetic fixes. You weren't trying to be seen, you were being prepared. And that preparation didn't come with applause, it came with isolation, spiritual warfare, betrayal, and long seasons of feeling invisible. But there's a reason for that. If people had known who you really were from the start, they would have latched onto you for the wrong reasons. They would have tried to drain you, use you, or sabotage your destiny before it even got going. That's why you had to be misunderstood. That's why your glow had to be dimmed until the exact moment when God said, now. Because now when you rise, nobody can say they helped you. Nobody can take credit. Your story will be undeniable. Your rise won't be hype, it'll be proof. They thought you were just another face in the crowd. They had no idea you were the reason that crowd was even being tested. But it's too late now. The mask is off, the light is on, and the same people who overlooked you are about to realize they were in the presence of the one the whole damn time. Number 4. They measured you by earth metrics, but you operate in celestial currency. They judged you by what they could see, touch, and tally up on paper. They wanted credentials, popularity, money, and external proof of success. If you didn't have the right job title, the house, the following, or the degrees, they wrote you off as a nobody. That's how small their vision was. They were looking for surface-level status while you were carrying weight they couldn't even comprehend. You weren't out here collecting clout, you were collecting codes. You weren't building a brand, you were building a blueprint that's going to outlast trends, titles, and every system they swear by. The crazy part is they couldn't measure your value because you operate on a frequency that doesn't show up on their radar. You weren't concerned with likes and recognition. You were decoding generational pain, clearing karmic debt, and channeling spiritual instructions that go back centuries. You didn't come here to impress the world, you came here to rebuild what was spiritually destroyed. And that kind of work, it doesn't come with applause, it comes with being misunderstood. They thought you were off track when really you were way ahead, just not in the way they expected. They thought you were broke because your wealth wasn't loud, but you were investing in things they don't even know how to value. Peace, purpose, divine alignment, spiritual armor. While they were busy chasing fame, you were making sure your soul wouldn't rot under pressure. You built inner fortresses while they built facades. They built castles made of image. You built temples out of truth. They bought status. You earned substance. And now their metrics are starting to fail. The same systems they trusted are crumbling, and you're standing strong, quiet, grounded, unshaken, because your worth was never based on what could be counted. It was based on what can't be corrupted. They just didn't know how to measure the chosen one. But trust, heaven did. Number 5, the spotlight would have contaminated you, so you were cloaked in rejection. You weren't left out, you were kept safe. They thought your absence from certain circles, stages, and rooms was proof you weren't good enough. But really, it was divine protection in disguise. You were being kept out of spaces that would have contaminated your spirit, watered down your purpose, and turned your soul into a performance piece. If you had been exposed too early, the spotlight would have warped you. The pressure would have made you compromise. You would have adjusted yourself to please people who didn't even have the range.